One album. How much money do you think I owe this guy? One album? And then he became a fake pastor and went and conned people? And then y'all gonna let him throw dirt on the God's name?
Hey there, beautiful fanatics. We hope you're enjoying the holiday season, because I gotta tell you, as far as Christmas celebrations go, things are not looking good for Diddy. Looks like he's in his loner era, as no one wants anything to do with him after all the dirt he's been dragged through recently. He has a grand total of 0 invitations for Christmas Eve, and the poor guy even spent Thanksgiving alone. Now, I get it hurts when people bail on you in tough times, but let's be real. Diddy did get accused of some pretty horrible things, including rape, trafficking, blackmail, and drug abuse.
Music mogul Sean Combs, better known as Puff Daddy or Diddy, is now facing a lawsuit in years of sexual abuse and rape during their long romantic relationship.
So all in all, if any of the above accusations are even remotely true, spending Christmas alone sounds like a pretty small punishment. That said, he must be feeling the hit of being totally alone this Christmas, especially after having all his kids around last year, including the new little one in the family. Hang in there for more on this and subscribe to our channel for all the latest celebrity news. The rapper posted a pic on Instagram from last Christmas where he's all decked out in matching PJs with his kids, except for his 28-year-old son, Justin Dior. The new baby, Love, was snuggled up in his arms wearing a cute green onesie with Santas all over it. He dropped the pic on December 25th, 2022, a couple of weeks after surprising everyone with the baby announcement on Twitter. At first, people thought it might be young Miami, but turns out the mom's Dana Tran, a cyber security whiz. She clarified things on her podcast, saying it wasn't exactly a shocker, and talked about the importance of good communication when you're in a situation like that. They'd been sparking romance rumors since 2021, but only made it Instagram official in June the next year. Well, Diddy doesn't really sound like a great guy having a baby with another woman while being in a relationship with a completely different woman, does he? No, he doesn't. His lonely Christmas this year should give him some much needed time for self-reflection. Now, in case you've been living under a rock and don't know why no one wants to spend Christmas with Diddy, let me brief you real quick. A few days ago, there was a big legal problem for Sean. His ex Cassie Ventura, who was in a relationship with him for 10 years, said he did some extremely criminal things to her. So she came forward and sued him, saying he hurt her physically, made her do stuff she didn't want to do with other people, and even raped her before she left him.
She does claim that there was an incident in 2018 here in LA. He forced her to have sex. So she's alleging a rape in that case. Around the country, would hire male prostitutes and force her to have sex with them.
Cassie filed this lawsuit in New York using a special law that gives more time for people to report these kinds of things. That law is going away soon, so she wanted to speak up before it was too late. It's important to remember that it wasn't a criminal case, it was about money. Cassie said Combs did these things and she wanted compensation, but Combs said it was not true. His defense also maintained that Cassie just wants money and is making up these stories. Now, obviously, following this, there was talk about why Cassie stayed with Combs for so long and why she didn't report this earlier. Well, her lawyers say things got worse over time in their relationship and she only fully understood what happened after they split. There's also some proof mentioned in Cassie's complaint, like videos, photos, and people who saw things happen. These could really help Cassie's case if they prove what she's saying.
Ask me, yo, and they send me clips of Cassie. I guess it's an affidavit to the court just with this Cassie thing. I didn't know her, but I knew somebody like her, and that was Kim Porter. Experience, and it's like, it was the same thing Kim was going through. Beatings, you know what I'm saying?
Usually before lawsuits, people try to settle things quietly, especially if there's a guilty party involved, which seemed to have been the case here. So what we saw was Diddy paying Cassie a huge bag of cash containing some $10 million. She gladly took it and ditched the suit. But it didn't get Diddy off the hook. The evidence she presented against Diddy was so compelling that although this lawsuit didn't end up in court, it might as well have, cause he sure as heck came out of this whole thing looking guilty. Yep, he did. So yes, this could very well be the reason even his own family has boycotted him for Christmas. I mean, come on, who wants to be around a guy like that? No, not me. Cassie's lawsuit was honestly just the tip of the iceberg, cause right after the allegations she made, 2 more lawsuits popped open. That's right, 2 newly filed lawsuits following a recent settlement with his former girlfriend go something like this. The first lawsuit, brought by Joy Dickerson Neal, dates back to 1991, claiming that Combs subjected her to a traumatic incident involving drugging, assault, and the distribution of revenge porn. Dickerson Neal, who had previously appeared in a Diddy music video, alleges that she suffered substantial and lifelong injuries. In response, a representative for Combs has dismissed the claims as made up and purely motivated by financial gain, categorizing them as a money grab. A significant and disturbing aspect of Dickerson Neal's allegations is the assertion that Combs filmed the sexual encounter and shared it with acquaintances, leading her to experience severe depression and requiring hospitalization. This lawsuit comes on the heels of Cassie's allegations, suggesting a growing pattern of accusations against Combs. The second lawsuit involves an unnamed woman identified as Jane Doe, who alleges that Combs and musician Aaron Hall raped her and a friend in either 1990 or 1991. The incident reportedly took place after the women were invited back to Hall's apartment following a music industry event. Doe claims that Combs coerced her into having sex, and subsequently Hall forcefully engaged in sexual activity with her friend in another room. Doe further alleges that Combs physically assaulted her a few days later, leading her to seek medical treatment for trauma. Now, after hearing about all these lawsuits, I bet you don't feel so bad about Diddy having to spend Christmas alone, do you? He'd better get used to it, because this just might be the beginning of the long, lonely life that awaits him. Honestly, it's not looking too cheery for him. Spending Christmas all by himself seems like he's in the doghouse, and even Thanksgiving was a solo affair. Obviously, we can't ignore the fact that he's been hit with some heavy accusations, and if even a bit of those are true, a lonely Christmas might be the least of his worries. To wrap things up, imagine a quiet Christmas Eve with no festive gatherings or joyous laughter. It's a different vibe for Sean this year, a stark departure from the family-filled celebrations we saw in the past. The scene has shifted dramatically. The absence of those familiar faces and the echoes of laughter leaves Diddy navigating the holiday season in solitude. As the year comes to a close, we're left with a lot of questions and unfinished business, and so is Diddy. Let's see how his legal troubles play out. If he's innocent, which is highly unlikely by the way, then it's pretty sad that he's lonely this time of the year, but if that's not the case, then it's rightfully deserved. What are your thoughts on all this? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll catch you in the next video.